All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your boy E here with all the cool wrestling factoids. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. Segment one, we talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw a review. We talked about our WWE NXT preview. We also talked about Liv Morgan and her Hollywood aspirations. Is it a right move for her to become an actress instead of a WWE wrestling superstar? If you missed it, go look it up on YouTube. It's absolutely awesome, pretty dope. And we're gonna get into today in wrestling history. So yeah, let's not without further gilling the lily. Let's go ahead and move on here, man. I'm definitely messing up on my vocabulary here. So yeah, we have our today in wrestling history. So let's go ahead and start off with WCW Slamboree 1995. So Slamboree in St. Petersburg, Florida. The main event featured Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage in a reunion. They defeated Vader and Ric Flair. And then that night, you saw the Nasty Boys actually defeat the Harlem Heat for the WCW tag team titles. I remember watching snippets of this event. Obviously, in 1995, I was like 3 years old. Although if I did have a good wrestling persona and like could thoroughly pay attention to like the storylines and stuff like that as a wrestling fan when I was 3 years old, I would probably be the best wrestling fan on a place of in the United States and all over the world. Because hey, man, I was 3 years old. I watched Randy Savage. I watched Hulk Hogan take on Vader and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Well, but ultimately, that wasn't the case. I just remember watching this, when I was 10 years old, we used to rent old WCW WWF rentals at this place called Gary's TV Video. I don't know if any of you guys remember TV, video stores like Superstar Video, Hollywood Video, and also we had Gary's. We had Gary's Video. New releases cost $2.50 for 3 days, or you can buy a 99-cent movie. Then you can hold that for 5 days. Definitely, you gotta love the old times. The VHS tape players. Let me know in the chat if you have a VHS tape player. I know I do. I have that VHS and that DVD combo. Couldn't beat that, especially if you're. I know I'm giving away my age, right now to like a, kind of like to Q, but good stuff. WCW Slamboree, definitely one of the best, pay-per-views in the, back then during their modern time. So yeah, now we have 2000, where WWE presented Judgment Day. You saw Judgment Day. You saw it in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, the main event saw Triple H defeat The Rock to win the WWF champion in an Iron Man match that was special guest refereed by the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. And so I thought, obviously huge Shawn Michaels fan. Triple H won 6-5, but Triple H's last win, his last pinfall was because The Undertaker came back, totally throwing away the Ministry of Darkness, the Dead Man, coming back as the American Badass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He came out on his motorcycle. He's like, I am American Badass, like freaking Kid Rock. I think Kid Rock was the one who sang that song. So definitely thought that was pretty cool. Kind of sucked for The Rock that, like, okay, Undertaker comes back, and why does he want a piece of me? Why does he want to screw me out of the WWF championship? Next, we have 2001 Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit defeated Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Tag Team titles. You kind of have the double champions there. With Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Triple H, it was, they were a total like package. And I see a little Fettuccine 68 King Tama. Honestly, that's a possibility. I would love to see maybe their bookings. WWE Tamatonga. I could see that if Jey Uso would have moved on and kind of created this wedge definitely between the bloodline, which would be awesome. If Tamatonga was to win the King of the Ring, I don't want him to win against Gunther, because I feel like that would be kind of bad, and wrestling fans could be like, you know what? That seemed kind of forced. That just seemed like it didn't really make sense. So if Tamatonga was going to win the King of the Ring, I feel like it would have been against Jey Uso, thanks to outside bloodline interference. But, that's thank you, Little Fettuccine 68, for commenting. Definitely keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming. So, kind of moving furthermore, like I said, we have this tag team match. You saw Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit win, and this was ultimately the match that kind of started Triple H's quad injuries, where he tore his quad in the middle of the match and was actually miraculously still able to kind of compete, kind of put on a show, keep that, kind of sold it as a kayfabe injury, but yeah, no, definitely. It was kind of crazy how Triple H got injured. Against this tag team between Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. So, moving on, we have 2006 Judgment Day. 2006 Judgment Day. We saw Rey Mysterio retain his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against JBL. You also saw King Booker. King Booker was born. He was able to win the King of the Ring and ultimately like created that King Booker mentality. Definitely love my boy Little Fettuccine 68. Does Gunther really need a King of the Ring to honestly, yeah. Well, I can't really dispute that fact. I feel like he's pushed already. I would think that Gunther would be kind of heading toward a SummerSlam match for Damian Priest, perhaps. Well, no, I don't know because I would love to see Finn Balor and Damian Priest go at it. Like you have that Judgment Day Civil War. But honestly, I think Gunther doesn't need to do a damn thing right now. He has so much success. He's the ring general. He's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Definitely think that does he need to push to kind of further himself in terms of the of like a WWE heavyweight championship persona? Yeah, honestly, I would love Gunther to win. I would love to see Gunther and Ilya Dragunov to fight in the finals, but obviously Ilya was drafted to Monday Night Raw, so we couldn't see that. Randy Orton against Gunther, it'd be kind of cool, but I wouldn't see why Tama Tonga would move on if they were just sending somebody to lose to Gunther. So, definitely good questions. Love it. Keep them coming. Yeah. So like I said, Rey Mysterio defeated and retained against JBL. JBL was ultimately kind of like the big dog, kind of like that guy that was going to totally kick Rey Mysterio's ass. But Rey Mysterio, the ultimate underdog, him and Liv Morgan, the ultimate underdogs, were able to kind of, pull one out of their butts, make the win, get the victory. You saw that at Judgment Day. Pretty badass. And King Booker defeated Bobby Lashley to win the King of the Ring. So, love that. Absolutely 110%. So moving on. So in 2011, Sinclair Broadcasting, one of the largest media companies in the United States, purchased Ring of Honor. And Ring of Honor Supercard was also held on this date. Honor Card V1, which is 6, took place in Chicago. Eddie Edwards retained his Ring of Honor World Championship against Roderick Strong. So definitely something pretty cool. And this day also showed in 2017, WWE SmackDown presented Backlash, where you saw one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. You saw the modern day Maharaja defeat the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, to win the WWE World Championship. So, definitely love the modern day Maharaja. Kind of sad he didn't really get his kind of contract back in WWE, but good things are to come. He's very, very talented. So I think Jinder Mahal, he has a pretty talented future. Don't let this get you down, bro. Don't let this get you down. Well, lastly, we're gonna talk about. We have 9 minutes to talk about this. We have our Women's World Wrestling Power Rankings. I'm gonna give you guys the top 10 women's superstars from exactly a week. Who's done the best in the week? Who's ultimately like kind of like being promoted? Who's represented their company well, their title if they even hold a title, or like just ultimately like their momentum in their career right now. So hey, don't go anywhere.